Alaminos City, Lian Cassandra Chan Rakuya. Alaminos City is known for thousands of amazing islands that never disappoint, in which you can dip and dive in different islands and see several amazing nature spots. It is why Lian's costume is inspired from the wave of the sea creatures and corals, which represents one of the known tourist spots in her city, the 100 Islands. Anda Bohol, Irish de Lima. Her cultural attire is inspired by the mystical island of Anda Bohol, the Lamanok Island. It is shimmering in green paired with arched edges and accented with pearls and diamonds that signifies the beautiful creatures in the depths of the waters of Anda. Irish wants it to be unique and must be anchored to their culture and heritage sites, as it is for her the best way to show everyone what Anda really is. Angeles City, Gail Ventic. Tara na, sulagpo tana. This costume resembles the mythical phoenix, which symbolizes Angeleños' resiliency. Rising triumphant from the ashes of Mount Pinatubo erupted in 1991 and transformed the Angeles City into a soaring, progressive metropolis. The dark-colored layers of the skirt are reminiscent of the ashes that dampen not only the vast lands of Angeles City, but also the spirit of every local. The premium silver and gold colors dominate the upper portion of the costume and extend to the proud and mighty wings and culminate with the majestic headdress. Atimonan, Quezon, Amira Almamari. Amira's cultural attire reflects the amalgam of various culture activities in Atimonan, the Tagultul Fishing Festival. It represents the fishes, the sea, and the nature of fishing habits, the bountiful catch, and the traditional way of living of Atimonanins. Her advocacy is seamlessly woven into her cultural attire and their Tagultul festival, with colorful corals gracing her whole costume, eye-catching fishes, and their legendary mermaid, the guard of our seas, who she also represents with her clothing and headpiece. Aurora Isabella, Myra Isabel Rola. This is a symbol of historical innovation, of their ancestors' nomadic living, and the ingenuity of Filipinos. Its purpose had since evolved, and Miss Aurora Isabella takes pride of her roots as a farmer, a remnant of her past, an innovation and a symbol of our humble farmers' lives, the Kageton. Baclayon Bohol, Jezebel Ugat. Her cultural attire represents the rich marine and land biodiversity of her town, Baclayon Bohol. As a small town blessed with the wonders of nature, the design embodies the plethora of life forms, both on land and water, that is endemic to her town. Balayan, Batangas, Elise Relacion Galvez. Refleksyon ng pagputok ng Bulkan Taal. Kaikbat ang marubdog na pananampalataya ng mga Batanggenyo, ang pangkulturang kasuotan na binigyang buhay ng liwanag ng animoy mga kidlat na siyang gumulantang sa sambayanan at patuloy na magbabanta ng pagsabog ng bulkan. Ang kasuotang ito ay sumisimbolo sa pangako ng bagong umaga na may pag-asa, pananalig at pagbangon. Mahal kong Bulkang Taal, Bangon, Batangas. Baler Aurora, Verna, Abby, Katusalam. The fiery red and black Filipiniana symbolizes the celebration of Philippine-Spanish Friendship Day, a jubilee of merging cultures among the Balearianos and the Spaniards. The neck and headpieces signify the majesty of Belair, delicately handcrafted from coconut shells and coconut powder by the inmates of Aurora Provincial Inmates. This piece was made with the collective efforts of Belair locals, showing that aside from its scenic spots, Belair is also overflowing with creativity and unity. Bayambang, Pangasinan, Jan Arlie de Guzman. This costume is an optimum piece that depicts the rich cultural heritage of Balon Bayambang and pays tribute to the breadwinners of the municipality. The headpiece represents the plant named Kolibangbang, where the town got its name, which grew in abundance, especially in the hilly southern part. The bodice is inspired to the first person known as Agalit that belongs to an indigenous tribe, Aita in the early part of the 16th century. The papier-mâché onion backdress is made from old newspaper. This Rian Fernandez piece definitely calls for a celebration to Bayambagueños' pride. Bugalyon, Pangasinan, China K. Verosil. From dusk till dawn, she'll fight for what is right. She'll fight for her love that brings her the light. She is the legendary warrior of Pangasinan, Princess or Duja. This costume represents a young, beautiful, and well-educated ruler. She's a woman of strength, a heroine that led her soldiers to the battlefields to protect her land and environment. The shield was shaped like a carabao, our national animal, which is a big help to the farmers in the agricultural town of Bugalyon, while the costume is made with indigenous material, which can be found in Bugalyon's different crafts. Calamba City, Maria Trisha Medrana. Her national costume, the warrior, was designed by Mr. Eduardo de Castro. Calambeños are known to be resilient people. We fight all together to reach success. The gold color represents the golden heart of our people and the stardust soul of the Calambeños, while the cross signifies that our city is a God-centered home for everyone. We embrace the Catholic faith with our purest hearts. The banga or clay pot symbolizes the name of Calamba City. It was built to commemorate the folk tale on how the city got its name. And all in all, it denotes our culture, tradition, arts, and the life of every Calambeños. Caloocan City, Jeremy Nuki. As a Filipina, a Pinaflores Filipiniana white ball gown reminds us that our country is very rich in culture and natural beauty. Its land depicts hope and light, just like in the historical times of Caloocan, where Katipuneros fought for our freedom. Through their work, it helped the Philippines break free from Spanish colonial rule. Rosary symbolizes our religious culture and God-fearing country, and a crown which defines every single Filipina out there is a queen of her own. Just like this Filipiniana, we are all a royalty of our own culture. Pinaflores Filipiniana white ball gown made by Lani Liwag. Carrascal, Surigao del Sur, Luis Tunis. The Manobo tribe is the ancestral people of Carrascal, Surigao del Sur. Their tribal wear is woven with intricate designs and unique patterns using the colors red, black, yellow, and white. Women are adorned with fully beaded accessories, and men play the tribal rhythm on their drum. Together, the Manobos perform their traditional dances and rituals. Carrascal recognizes that community well-being and development is supported by knowing the cultural identity and rekindling the primal connection with Mother Nature. Catanawan, Quezon, Vivian Fabella. It has been their tradition to celebrate Sagrado Corazon de Jesus every month of June. A lady is dressed queenly to praise and thank the Lord for the whole year's blessings. This year, they decided to celebrate it in an eco-friendly fashion. The costume was delicately crafted from coconut fiber, sinamay with mangrove propagales, handmade by local designers of Catanawan. Cebu City, Guia Moreno. Steel symbolizes power, progress, industrialization. Perfect representation for the Queen City of the South and the bold and fearless Cebuanos. They embrace industrialization. Yet they preserve their pop culture, which is reflected in these colorful coral reefs. Fun fact, They take pride in the underwater ecosystems in Cebu because its diversity of colors means it's healthy. Claver, Surigao del Norte, Jan Junibel Lura. The Mamanwa tribe is the treasured local indigenous group of the municipality of Claver, Surigao del Norte, and is known as one of the oldest tribes in the Philippines. The Mamanwas are traditionally into farming and hunting as a form of survival, but as Claver's economy flourished, they were also given the equal opportunities when it comes to livelihood and educational opportunities as the other local population. Despite the big leap in Claver's development, the Mamanwa domains are highly protected and treasured as part of Claver's cultural heritage. Cordon Isabella Zenith Can. This masterpiece reflects the beauty of Cordon. Various indigenous materials were used to emanate the rich and vast culture of the Cordon, the home of the Manlaon Festival, an Ilocano term for farmers. The base of the gown is made of burna sacks that the local farmers commonly use to stock their harvested crops. All beaded work in the entire gown was hand-sewn by local artisans. The artwork in the tail of the gown was done by a local painter, showcasing the rich spiritual connection of the people of Cordon, and the skirt showcases various eco-tourist spots, landmarks, and products in our town that are intricately done by the creative hands of Cordonians. Cotabato City, Alexandra Salazar. This traditional ensemble portrays a princess who lives in the midst of the very rich Islamic heritage of Cotabato City. It is inspired by the Sharif Kabunsan Festival, which is a colorful celebration in honor of the Arab missionary who introduced Islam to Mindanao. The skirt is made of inaul, a traditional woven fabric of the Maguindanaoans, embellished with sparkling beads and crystals, along with golden ornaments, which epitomizes the city of cultural charms. The olive green veil represents the Rio Grande de Mindanao, which is the second largest river in the Philippines. Davao City, Elda Luis Aznar. The Bagobo Tagabawa constitute one of the largest groups among the indigenous peoples of southern Mindanao. Their embroidery and textiles continue to profoundly connect to ideas of the South in relation to their group, especially with regard to shared ideals of spiritual understanding and belonging. From the earplugs connected under the chin by numerous varicolored strings of beads, and arms and legs are laden with bracelets and bangles of brass, of shell, of cunningly woven vegetables, tendrils, and fibers. To women's coiffure, embellished with bead-encrusted combs cut out of wound. Digo City, Irish Ibuan. Obo Manobo has a very colorful clothing. They prepare the fabrics with stripes of red, or yellow, or anything having a maze of colors. The cloth is usually made from dried abaca fiber with intricate design. Ginuwatan are in woven representational designs such as flowers. Abaca production continues among Manobo communities because it's the primary raw material of the Manobo traditional dress. Dumaguete City, Krisha Hamisarani. A representation of history and culture combined with the elegance and sophistication of the Philippine mestiza dress takes center stage in this quintessential silhouette of the modern Filipiniana. This cultural regalia of the empowered Dumaguetena draws inspiration from the scenic location of Dumaguete City, where the sun rises. It features a headpiece which symbolizes the shining aura and the gentle spirit of a Dumaguetena woman, and a cape which is a symbol of anointed authority and power portrayed by fiesta queens of the Bigon era. El Nido Palawan, Dana Yapercon. Miss El Nido Palawan is wearing a costume that depicts the rich culture and biodiversity of her place. El Nido derived its name after the edible nest of swiftlet birds, or balin sa sayaw, found in the limestone cliffs. These nests would be the main ingredient of the gourmet Nido soup, which is a native delicacy El Nido has to offer. The whole ensemble is made up of recycled materials, a modern Filipiniana embellished with the beauties and wonders of El Nido, Palawan. Esperanza Sultan Kudarat, Amira Alicia Kamhawe. is glitzed up as a dignitary Muslim princess, epitomizing the legendary creature of Maranao folklore, the siramanok, or its golden form. This handcrafted creation glistens the trajectory of the Islamic heritage that is culturally esteemed in Sultan Kudarat. The ensemble was carefully sewn by hand, with the beadwork individually crafted as a visualization of cultural harmony, the feathers as representation of soaring benevolence, and the golden earth tones as a reflection of the luscious land of her origin. General Santos City, Sunshine, May, Ningasca. This cultural attire is in honor of the Blaan tribe of Mindanao, who are also the earliest documented settlers of General Santos City, and coined its original name, Ladyangan, which refers to a tree with thorns on its trunk and stems that had reportedly thrived in the city. Notable in the ensemble is the tabi fabric, used as a tubular skirt for Blaan women or used as formal pants among the Blaan men. The cloth attached to the headdress is almost a century old, weaved by no less than the late Fu Yabing, one of the country's national living treasures. Iloilo City, Rosel, Angela, Songano. This cultural attire is heavily influenced by Suklan Malayon, the goddess of home, hearth, families, and happiness. She is referred to as a protecting sister and is depicted as a beautiful lady accompanied by birds that serve as her messengers. Suklang Malayon is a goddess, a guardian, and a woman who serves and protects the earth and its inhabitants. Hagna Bohol, Mary Gwyn Corambis. Mary's cultural attire is a modern interpretation of the traditional wear for Mazurka de Hagna. The costume celebrates Hagna Anmon's love for culture and the arts, and conveys a deep connection to religion and faith. It also celebrates the town's booming strawberry industry and is made of raffia fabric, an organic and eco-friendly material. Lapu-Lapu City, Claire Codilia. Batik, also known as pintados, is a Cebuano word for tattoo, signifying a mark or a seal on one's body. The culture of wearing batik was evident in the Sri Bisaya people of Mactan long before the arrival of the Spaniards. To appreciate our cultural identity, we must be able to understand our history, as we live amongst the generations and generations of descendants from a rich heritage, who value unity of our people with stories that last a lifetime. Las Piñas City, Hannah Kinalayo. The costume was designed by Dan Esmalde. It was made as a tribute to the 15th Las Piñas Water Lily Festival. Water Lily Festival celebration promotes the water lily handicraft, weaving enterprise created using water lilies that clog rivers and waterways as raw materials in making mats, decorations, and various handicrafts. The mestizo terno was made from 100% dried water lilies to showcase the city's love for the environment as the giver of life and livelihood. This work aims to spark awareness and encourage people to be environmentally conscious that problems can turn into beautiful things. Mabini, Batangas, Samantha Elin Coloso. Samantha is wearing a blue modern Filipiniana inspired by a rainbow parrotfish. Parrotfish are colorful, tropical creatures that spend about 90% of their day eating algae off coral leaves. With Mabini, Batangas being the center of marine biodiversity, this almost constant eating performs the essential task of cleaning the reefs, which helps the corals stay healthy and thriving. Samantha's fan represents a parrotfish's fins, her trail emulates its tail, and her modern Filipiniana's intricate 3D details embody the rainbow scale-like features of a parrotfish. Mabini, Davao de Oro, Chena Gamale Solamillo. Chena is wearing the majestic creation of J. Navarro Palco inspired by the essential facts and features of Mabini, Davao de Oro that supports the fast-rising ecotourism, with a touch of modernity represented by the modern look of a Filipiniana to Mabini's coastal lines and sea areas, which are ecologically protected to safeguard the diverse marine ecosystem. The headdress enumerates the 11 municipalities of Davao de Oro, and Mabini is one in which its biodiversity flourishes from crest to reef as the community gave importance to nature's cyclic dance, elegantly swaying to the waves of change. Mabitak Laguna, Helena Pearl Miranda. Miss Mabitak Laguna's cultural attire is named and inspired by her hometown, Amazing Mabitak, showcasing the 15 Blessed Barangay, highlighting the Nuestra Senora de Candelaria, their patron saint with its parish church with 126 steps to salvation. They celebrate the longest Christmas in the Philippines from January 1 to 6 of every year, called the Three Kings Festival, wherein people gather to celebrate and enjoy the so-called Pasabog ng Pera. The costume is made of rattan, banig, and boho, accentuated with wooden and glass beads to showcase their local materials as one of their sources of living. Makilala North Cotabato, Ara Ragong. Ara's cultural attire was inspired by the Kalibungan Festival, representing the tri-people of the province of North Cotabato. Beneath the costume is a story of a land where diversity is celebrated and not a hindrance to what it can achieve: prosperity. The base of our costume is made out of inaul, which symbolizes royalty, and the colorful beads attached to it symbolize the important virtues and qualities of a North Cotabateño: resiliency and bravery. Malolos Bulacan, Nika Vea. This gown depicts the smooth-flowing movement of the stream that embodies the transparency and resiliency of the Maloleños. It is a vision turned into life through the craftsmanship to perfection and inspired by crafting timeless treasures of Santa Cruzan, which originated in Bulacan and embellished with flowers and crystal stones that epitomize the gigantic jewelry industry of May Kawayan. It is a reminder that we embrace change, but never forget the rich heritage to ensure conservation and sustainable progressive development, creating a social balance of the livelihood between humanity and environment.